Speakers of Hydaelyn is made possible by our generous patrons. Special thanks to our Supreme and Master Speakers, Omeji Cat Comet, Arisu Yamakawa, Alex Franco AV, Winebow Brood, Aurora White, Psyche, Asuta Starbreeze, Cletus Oreo, Lily Black, Bob Cece, Mictor Rabentau, Anathus Moonscar, Pamela Isley, Elenriel Maximus, Codrith Novelist, Mira, Celestau Notrell, Lazy Boy, Luke Osborne, Tex, Kai Lin, Arthur Law, Beridan Derard, Cypup, Spencer Christmas, Celine DeLune, Edwin, Webster Wolf, Severa, Circa Barrakiel, Kazran, Ventos Tia, Ryark Forbear, Late in the House, Tony, Arcadia Lunashine, Framboise Zaccaro, Bergie Fudge, Seffield Cafe, Gregorium Cartus, Eros, Uananitsa, Tyler Curlyfries, Nat Clay, Chibi Duo, Jace Adama, Rurik X3, and Rivicus. Get early access to audio and video versions of the show, including the post-show, by supporting us at patreon.com/SpeakersXIV. Thank you. Good evening, Aorsians. Welcome to Speakers of Hydaelyn, episode 472. I'm Lakeel Bravestone, and I'm joined today by Georgi Wiston, Mela Vanadar, and not Rollo Des. Now, hold on, and we'll have a visual in a second.
What are you doing in Sharlayan?
Looking for something to
Wordle! Wordle! Yeah, let's do the Wordle of the day.
Instead of an episode, let's just play Wordle. Let's see. Let me just sort that out. Let's see. We've had some issues before the stream today, but there we go. Rollo's not here today. He is busy moving. And if you've watched Speakers before, you know that's a bit of a curse. And what a day one, the curse struck the podcast. We're having technical issues as well. I say obviously. Everything's hosted on my computer. But one of my hard drives is signing off forever, it seems. So I'm doing a little bit of panic backupping right now. But unfortunately, that has delayed the show quite significantly. What is funny is that if you watched our Friday stream, I will say it was jokingly said that we'll just start an hour later because we don't have that much to cover. And then here we are, an hour and 18 minutes late. After extensive issues.
Not a record, but not far off.
It is not a record. Okay, and that says a lot, actually. That's not a record. That should be a record. It is episode 472. It is September the 27th, 2025, and today we are going to dive into Final Fantasy XIV's content schedule in a great discussion. So you don't want to miss that. Also, we'll be reading. Well, we'll see. We'll read a MogMail, but we are late. We'll just cut into the post show. It's fine. Okay. Also, want to mention quickly that the Spooktober 2025 schedule is now up on our website. That's speakersxiv.com/Spooktober25, and you can see all of our upcoming games and the times, the days in which we will play them. This is a bigger Spooktober. I forgot to mention this before stream, but like this is bigger than last year because last year we did not play games on Mondays. So we have added Mondays to Spooktober. Last year we played 14 on Mondays. That is not the case this time.
Good.
So
rightly so.
Rightly
Get into
so.
the seasonal, mood.
Yes.
Spooktober's for spook.
Yes. I think the command is Spooktober. I think it's just Spooktober in chat to get the link if you're watching live. Okay. With that out of the way, let's jump into recent events. It's not much today, but we have the merchandise that
merch we've talked about.
Merch we've talked about. Now there is at least one new thing, and that is
which is pretty cool.
It is pretty
Very cool.
It's the Grand Company medals.
Yeah, so
they're cool.
when you're doing like your sort of veterans parade, Lucia, you'll be able to pin these onto your breast to add a few embellish your career.
Yeah, that's
which is
cool.
nice.
That makes that. I'm sure that'll look real cool. But here they are.
They're very nice looking. They're decent quality by the looks of things.
Yeah.
They're just a little pin, like badge pin on the back.
Yeah.
But from the front, they look very cool, very nice.
Yes.
They're made of zinc alloy and polyester.
Lovely.
So probably quite bad for your skin if you have sensitive skin.
Well, don't wear it directly. Don't put the pin on your skin. You know, that's
won't
been
know.
I've always said that for that's always been my
It's a good rule of thumb.
catchphrase. Yeah.
But you might hold it and it reacts with your hand
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah. Well, then you're hyper allergic and definitely should never handle anything like this. But yeah, if you are hyper allergic to that, don't get
Be
these.
careful.
Do we want to talk about the other item that Mailer was obsessed with quickly? The one-touch edge Final Fantasy
Oh, yeah.
things.
There's some new one-touch
Oh.
edges, guys. One-touch edge,
One touch edge. Yeah. What?
which is
Explain,
basically,
Mailer.
imagine if you had a trading card that you really liked and you wanted to display it in a thick piece of plastic that's UV resistant so it doesn't get sun damaged and is in like a little stand. Very bizarre product. I've never known anyone who wants to display it in that kind of way, but it's not worth the money.
Are you sure this is not for you? I mean, it has Final Fantasy branding on it, so
It's
you
the
can't put
branding, so you
anything-
have to have a Final
Yeah.
Fantasy card in there.
That's
So
true.
you either have to play their mediocre TCG or just get the magic Final Fantasy
Yeah.
cards.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's yeah.
I will put my Gestohler rule full art in there.
Okay.
It's the best card I got.
All right. Yeah, it can be yours for €16 or 15.99 euros.
So expensive.
Yeah. Other than that, just go to the
mean-
Square Enix store. Yeah.
How easy would it be to make a? I don't know how hard it is to make something that would defend something from UV damage.
The UV is the treatment on it is interesting. I guess it must have like a layer of something that
Because
reflects
if you
UV
want
light.
if you want to display cards, like I don't know how much it costs to get something that would protect it from UV still. Otherwise, this is not something I've looked into myself.
I don't know.
I'm not sure either. I don't know if like standard top loaders have anything like that. So maybe you do need something a
Does
bit thicker.
glass not be like glass naturally
No,
deflects UV?
No.
doesn't it?
Glass that's UV3.
Yeah.
Does it?
If the glass didn't,
I
if
thought you
glass
couldn't
was able to
stand
do
through a
that, things
window.
that I put in, you can put shit in front of a window and it'll get UV damaged
That's
easily.
true.
Sun
That's
damage,
true.
yeah, because I had an R2D2 clock that turned orange by the end
Yeah.
of its lifetime. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's
and there's multiple bands of UV as well. Some get.
maybe this is
some get
cutting edge
through material.
technology.
It could be.
Cutting edge, guys. Definitely worth the €15.99
Yeah.
for a single card to hold a single card.
I mean, if you really treasure that card,
Yeah,
you should
Some
be like
card-
the person.
I'd tell you now, I would spend €15 if I had one of the traveling golden chocobo serialized cards, which are worth like $10,000 plus dollars.
Right.
Yeah, I would treasure and try and protect that. But most cards, no.
we now have the prices though. That we didn't have that last time for all the items because they were just displayed.
Well, we had the English prices now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're up for pre-order.
Western
on the Square Enix
prices,
store.
So the
even.
corn. I'll just mention like the ones that we picked out last time, like the corn servant plushie that we showed, where you can detach. You can actually pull the corn out of the base. 40
the
or
husk.
€39.99.
He's very expensive,
Yes, but it is a
but I do
very.
like him.
It seems to be a pretty high quality product. Actually.
Yeah,
So
I like him.
the tote bag with the like lots of the Sugar Riot art on it it's $46.99, which is a lot for this, but the artwork is nice and the 14 branding is small. It's just at the very
Yes.
top of the bag, so like you don't really, yeah.
The zipper, some of the zippery bits are like themed as well, which is cute.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's high quality as well. The umbrella with the Amarot art inside is $39.99.
Same price as the corn servant.
Yeah. So umbrella versus plushie.
I don't know how much an umbrella costs normally, so
You know,
Not that much.
yeah, it's
No,
not that
but
much. You can get them pretty cheap.
there's more that goes into an umbrella than a corn servant, at least.
I guess. It has a cute little tag at the bottom of the umbrella with an ancient on it, which is cute.
And that's a nice touch.
Yeah, and then there's the shoulder bag, which is also like a messenger bag, I guess. The Sugar Riot. It's got a little square of inside of the bag, because this is the bag that has only just like a little Sugar Riot.
I kind of.
But then you open it and it's full of the art on the inside. So
I don't think we knew that.
no,
It's
No.
good at hiding. It's a good bag if you want to hide your power level in public.
yes.
That's neat. I don't mind that.
But what about the hand towels, Lakil? The beautiful Cactuar and Mamora hand towels.
Hand towels.
$12.99 in pounds.
Yeah,
Like for 15 euros, I guess.
15.99 for.
And they're quite nice for the. I mean, I wouldn't pay that much for a hand towel generally, but it's it's
Yeah.
cute.
And
Merch has a.
just the last one we'll mention is the Alphino and LSA plushie. They're 40 or 39.99 euros each. So that's
Mm-hmm.
79.98.
You got to get them both.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. That's the merch.
Thank you.
Now we have a short
What?
Yoshi-P interview that we need to get through because Yoshi-P. This is a message.
Well-
I'm talking directly to Yoshi-P right now. This is an important message. Listen. Shit's a little rough right now, and you need to calm down. You need to think before you speak. And if this is a translation issue, you need to talk to your PR team and make sure that the translator is vetted and that we need to think about image because you've been out talking again and this is not good. Okay? Okay. End of message to Yoshi-P. This is we don't have the source for this one.
It was the Noisy Pixel channel on YouTube.
Yeah,
That's where this excerpt comes from, but the actual we're pulling this from a different website that just because this is only an excerpt of the interview. If you want to see the full interview, go to Noisy Pixel on YouTube.
Yeah,
to see the full thing.
Yeah, this is a recap from a different source, which unfortunately we have not put in here, so I can't tell you who did this original write-up. But
this is from Video Games Chronicles.
There you go.
Thank you.
.com.
.com. Okay, Yoshi-P, Final Fantasy XIV director Yoshi-P says he'll keep working on the game for at least a good while, is the quote. Naoki Yoshida says there are still a lot of things he wants to add to the 12-year-old MMORPG. Final Fantasy XIV director Naoki Yoshida... Okay, it's just all fluff text. Okay, here we go. In a new interview with Noisy Pixel, Yoshida was asked how he continues to stay motivated working on the now 12-year-old game, and what it is that keeps him in the role of Final Fantasy XIV director after more than a decade. Yoshida replied that it's his job to continue working on Final Fantasy XIV, and that anyone who gets bored of working on certain games should probably not work for a company with such responsibilities. Now here comes the quote. I am more of a businessman, Yoshida says, via a translator. And I make games. And of course people tend to say we're creators or creative, but I am an employee at Square Enix, and I receive money to make games.
It's not untrue.
No.
It's not.
I think my primary purpose is to make games so that we are delivering it to the gamers out there, fans, players who want to consume our product. I think that is fundamental or a minimum requirement that I have because I belong to this company. I have to read the full quote so we get everything. And of course, working in a company and feeling bored with a particular project and starting to claim, well, I don't like this game, I'm bored with this game, then I think people like that would need to remove themselves from a corporate environment if they want to pursue that style. but I don't have that strong personal desire to go into my own creative things. Now, let's talk about that, what he just said, because we understand, you know, if you we've heard Yoshi-P talk before, and I know what he means, but optics is a problem nowadays. And I think when you say consume, just saying unironically consume product, it doesn't sound well. It doesn't sound good. It sounds pretty bad. It sounds like he doesn't like. I don't know. What do you want him to say in a way? Like, would you? What would have made this better? I don't know. But he shouldn't have said it. We're like.
See, I don't know what. See, it's hard for me to answer that question because I don't mind this because I understand what he's saying. You need to ask someone that is reacting to it on face value, I guess.
Yes.
I guess instead, if he didn't say it, maybe if he'd said something like, because the question was. Well, the question, there wasn't really a question. It was kind of what keeps you motivated. And maybe if it said, you know, seeing the reactions of the players around the world keeps me motivated to continue making the game. And in the future, I'd like to take on the feedback that I've received recently to push this game to the, you know, the greatest heights it can get to.
Yeah, because what he essentially said was, what keeps you motivated? I get paid.
Yeah.
Like, that's not great of an answer.
Good for him.
I mean, it's true.
I hate. I know that this is not related to him. I hate when companies act like your desire to receive money is immoral.
Oh, well, obviously, you have to get paid for your stuff.
You got to get paid.
But he's essentially saying, I get paid to make games. I am not a creative, though, so I don't really do any of that. I'm just the boss. I'm the boss man. And I get paid for being a boss. I'm a businessman, you know? Like, it's an interesting answer. We give Yoshi-P a lot of goodwill because we know him. But, like, you have to view...
Personally.
We know him personally. We're on. But, like, I don't know. I feel like...
It comes after a series of blunders, which is the issue.
We're not in a vacuum.
You know.
There's a bigger picture here. And he's adding... There's
a lot of backlash currently. There have been things where he's you know, 1 minute talked about how we need to sort QA out and then make several quite big QA failures. Well, not big, but, you know, noticeable.
Yeah.
Then there was suddenly like a sleuth of Mog Station items being chucked on when he's like, you know, it's like, you gotta just think Yoshi-P.
They have a problem with timing. And this is not like a big deal. Like, I don't really care about this interview, but, like, you know that this is just another log on the fire that is, you know, the other side of people complaining about this game. So he's not doing himself or 14 any favors by saying this. I'll continue just to finish this part. Despite this, Yoshida says this doesn't necessarily mean he keeps working on Final Fantasy XIV because he feels he has to, but because he still has plans for the game. When asked, do I ever get bored with Final Fantasy XIV? I don't think so, because there are a lot of things that I have yet to actualize in 14. Things that I want to do, things that I must do, things that require to be taken care of, he explained. And so, I think for at least a good while, I should be okay. Now, if there's one thing I want to do less of, and I might get scolded... I might get scolded... But I would rather not do a lot of management or operational things. I already do a lot of game developing, and I've sacrificed some sleep sometimes. But perhaps if I were to have a choice, I would like to focus in on the game development design.
I mean, when you hear that in context with the rest of it, it makes more sense.
People don't care about context anymore.
No, I know, that's the issue.
Yeah, we do, obviously. I knew what he meant, even without reading the rest of this interview, but, like... We live in a non-context world currently. They just rip out one bit and use that against them. But yeah, I mean the second half of the interview.
I fully agree as well.
What?
I would hate to imagine being, imagine if you were really good at making it, whatever, some creative outlet.
Yeah.
But you were shoehorned into like managing a team and having, you know, business meetings with the stakeholders and all that shit.
Yeah.
I would be so frustrated every day. So I completely understand.
Yeah, he has been pushed around into like positions that he didn't really want to be in. Like the board
he
of
forced up to
directors.
like the board of directors.
Yeah.
For a while.
Yes.
He's still on the board of directors.
Yeah,
Well,
he's just. What was the?
They switched things around, didn't they?
Yeah, they
changed
did.
I don't fully understand how the upper echelons of
No.
Square Enix works, but he's still in a position of managerial responsibility.
He's no longer like a head at the table, I think, of the board of directors. He's something else. I think
Something happened.
He stepped down as something, but he's still a part of like another board. It's Square Enix's like corporate hierarchy is very complicated, but yeah, he's a manager of some kind. So there you go. That's the latest Yoshi-P. No, that's not the latest. This is just one of many interviews that he's done. But this one's interesting because of...
There'll be more coming out over the next week or two as well, because Tokyo Game Show is happening as we speak right now.
It is.
And there will be a Tokyo Game Show thing tomorrow, Sunday, 28th.
Yes.
If you're watching live, you can watch with us.
Talking about the Final Fantasy XIV and Monster Hunter Worlds crossover.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Exciting.
Mm-hmm. So, shout out Yoshi-P. Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe you should find some pictures with him smiling.
He has pictures of him smiling. He just chose not to use one for this one because that doesn't reflect what this interview's about.
That's true. But also, I didn't have
You think
time.
Yoshi-P was smiling when he did this interview?
No.
No, I think he was in tears.
I think there are fewer pictures of him smiling than him looking stern on the internet, to be honest. I'm going to go out on a limb. Get the AI system.
That's probably
working.
true, actually.
Burn
He
down
does
a few
smile a lot.
rainforests to figure out if Yoshi-P is...
He's a happy chap.
No, I think it's the opposite, Mailer. I think there's...
You're saying the opposite.
Oh.
See, I agree with you, Mailer. I think there are more pictures of him smiling.
I think there are...
Yeah.
Google Yoshi-P.
Someone find out. Someone do the analytics and find out.
Yeah.
I love the title, Short Yoshi-P Interview. Big Yoshi-P and a short Yoshi-P.
This is a short Yoshi-P.
Little Yoshi-P.
Yeah. Okay. All right. This is not a serious... I didn't mean this in a serious way. Don't come after me for saying Yoshi-P is stern looking. If you want. Yoshi-P looks fine. He smiles and he's a happy man. He chain smokes and he has a son that hates Final Fantasy XIV and plays Fortnite.
Oh, living the dream.
All right. Now we have to talk about DDoS. There is DDoS attacks going on 14 in 14 universe. DDoS attacks. They're happening.
DDoS.
DDoS. I don't know what else to say. DDoS attack on the 25th. DDoS attack today on the 27th.
If you've been affected by this emerging situation, get in touch.
It's what happens, with online gaming. we get DDoS attacks and they happen.
Exactly. And the internet's been falling apart for years, so it's just more common than ever.
Yes, it's true. There was one on the 25th, which affected North America, but this one today seems to have affected...
It seems to be global. But I think it's resolved more or less.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think they've mentioned anything about this being a DDoS. I mean, it very probably is, but it's not one that seems to have required a large response, but maybe they'll make a post on the Lodestone about it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, it affected 11 as well.
Oh,
this
no.
one?
Oh, well, there you go.
Oh, that's not good.
It's all of them. Interesting.
Square Enix.
Lodestone has confirmed it as a DDoS?
Okay.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
Breaking news from the newsroom right now. We have confirmed
Going
it's
to
a
our
DDoS.
correspondent in the field, Rollo.
Rollo Des, what's the situation like down there?
Ooh.
Seem to have lost Rollo there. It's a very dramatic scene. Okay, that's just the state of things. There are DDoS attacks and they happen, and I don't know what else to say. Just play something else in the meanwhile. We'll do
Hades too.
We'll do a MogMail.
Yeah.
Yes. We'll do some MogMail. Because of the technical issues we had today, we have unfortunately not been able to make them. I have not been able to make them like a on-screen thing, but I'll run the intro and then I'll just read them aloud. So let's go. It's time for MogMail. And the first MogMail is from Liar from Lamia. Hello, speakers. I've been playing since Shadowbringers, and the biggest thing I've missed in the 14 community as compared to other fandoms is a comprehensive lore wiki. Pretty much every game or media property that's above a certain threshold of popularity has a wiki you can dive into and read the histories and details of all characters, from minor to main, events of the story, info on in-game locations, and all the lore you could want. 14, on the other hand, is weirdly lacking on this front. We have a couple of wikis, sure, but they mostly cover mechanical details. I can look up a character and see where they are in the game, what items they sell, what quests they give, but nothing with regards to lore, their history, or their place in the story. There is a fandom wiki, but it's criminally underdeveloped. It doesn't even have pages for a lot of important characters. Plus, fandom wiki in general isn't great. There's the general Final Fantasy wiki, but that's obviously not primarily focused on 14, so it tends to only cover major characters / events / locations, and ones that are Final Fantasy staples. Even 11's lore wiki situation is better than 14's. It's just kind of strange, considering the game is pretty big. Lots of people love it. Even smaller media properties have pretty detailed lore wikis. Do you have any insights on why this just isn't something 14 has or had historically? Would you find a lore-focused wiki helpful? Or are you happy with just your own knowledge from the game, plus the official lore books and other supplemental material? Well, this is interesting, because I have encountered this a few times when I want to go back and double-check some lore, and I Google this character that's involved in the lore, and I find a wiki page, and I'm like, oh great, open it, and it's just the quest stuff. Do you know what I mean? Where to find and when introduced and what, but there's no lore summary.
This is one of the things that most demotivates me when I'm trying to write Gillionaire questions.
Right.
Because when I'm looking, it's easy for me to make questions about the mechanics of the game, functions of dungeons, stuff like that. But if I'm looking for a lore question, I either have to use one of the lore books, which I like having, but they're not, I can't search them in the same way I can search the internet.
Right.
So I have to rely on my knowledge of where they are in the books. It's just not convenient, unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's been a problem with 14 in general, though, in terms of its kind of internet presence, because it's never had the same style of content on YouTube as pretty much every other MMO. It doesn't have the same database type websites. The way you use Garland tools.
Yeah.
It is very against the grain of how you'd interact with most database websites for MMOs.
Yeah.
It's very hard to get to the meat that you need. Console games wiki and the fandom one or whatever, sometimes they're very slow. Sometimes they don't have the information you need. They're great for quests and for relic steps and stuff.
Yeah.
But
as I said, mechanics.
Right. Yeah. But in terms of a proper deep dive of lore, there's not much. And I don't know if it's because of the lore books kind of superseding the need for it, but they're hard to, like Yogi says, they're hard to, they don't have an index properly. They don't really tell you exactly where to look for everything. Then you have to skim through it all.
Yeah.
Be the change you want. Someone could work on this project.
I was going to say.
Yeah, I would happily get involved, I think. Maybe we could make it a community project.
The point of comparison I always think of is for the Star Trek wiki, there's a page on Pulaski's chicken soup.
Yeah.
Whereas in 14, I feel there's a lot of important NPCs that if you go to their wiki pages, there's just no information about them as a character or what they do other than where you can find them and what quests they're involved in.
Yeah, exactly. There was part of this frustration that led to me making Remnants of a Realm, was because there was nowhere to look up this shit. You had to go to other different sites to build a whole picture. And I saw that and what usually happens is what we just in chat someone posted xiv.quest, which is a nice website if you want to go through quest text, but what a nightmare to go through. I don't want to read.
Well, exactly, yeah.
Reading just the quest text is not how I want to read a lore document. You know what I mean?
No. The Wikipedia page for Lord of the Rings does not give me the entire dialogue of Lord of the Rings for me to go through in order to remember how the story went. It gives you a summary of what happened during the events of the story.
Yeah. And that's the problem. There are a lot of like niche 14 websites that do their own things. Like, oh, if you want to know about this, go to this website. And if you want to know more about it, go to this website to like see where you can find it. We need one central hub where all the lore. I want to read about like Pulaski's chicken soup, but like 14.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's the level we should have. There's so much lore in
this
this
is the most insane website I've ever seen in my life.
FFXIV.quest, yeah.
It's one page with the entire game's dialogue. One web page.
I have to say, shout out to whoever made this, because this must have been a nightmare to put together. Like, it's all the quest text.
Every quest.
Yeah. Crazy.
Just in a row.
Yeah.
On one page.
Yes.
The scroll wheel's massive. Like,
it is.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
A theory that I have that may or may not be true, but it might contribute to the issue of why such a dedicated like lore wiki has never been made, is the fact that most 1.0 lore, if you weren't there, is essentially lost to you.
Yeah.
So you either need to remember it, know someone that was there, because if you started with 2.0, it's very hard for you to find that information and try and document it yourself.
Yeah.
You need to have access to that information either via a person or just memory.
That's true.
Yeah.
And it would, I mean, it's difficult. I think structure to these sorts of things is difficult. Like, it would be a big project. But like I said, I think I would, you know, I think I and many people in the community would happily get involved in something like that. But these are the kinds of projects, lots of community projects, like we remember some old classic magazines and things that went around. They're nice community projects, and they get abandoned for one reason or another. So it's difficult to maintain this sort of thing.
It is also an issue of cost, because hosting
who's hosting it?
a website like that is going to be expensive, because you're probably going to get a lot of traffic, and if you have a high traffic website,
You can't just put it up on, you know, fandom or, you know, GeoCities or something. Like, you gotta.
We would want, like, 11 has the wiki, which is the 11. I never. You know the one that you
the
go
FFXIclopedia.
Yeah.
Or the FFXI wiki.
There's two, I guess, but like they're the
one.
The
fandom one I use.
Yeah.
But they're both kind of more or less the same thing.
Yeah. The FFXIclopedia. That's the one. That's usually the one I go to. That is hosted on Fandom, so it is possible. There's also the 11 wiki, which I also use, which is Blue Guard.
Yeah, Final Fantasy has a fandom, and I've used that for quite a bit of reading.
Yeah.
I think the FFXIV fandom one. Yeah, there's an ffxiv.fandom.com.
Well,
and it's
the Blue Guard wiki.
Very bare bones.
The Blue Guard, it's bgwiki.com. Like, it's a little difficult to get to, but it has a bit of an address. But that's the 11 wiki. That one has everything. That is like actually like a really deep and it's a community run lore wiki hosted properly. The fact that we don't have that here.
14 fandom, just to give you an idea, says that the current version of the game is patch 5.45 to Feb 21. Yeah,
that's another problem. A lot of them are abandoned as well. So
yes,
I don't know.
And how do you build traction?
Because
this is a cool idea.
Yeah,
we could do it.
I want to talk to like whoever runs the console games wiki. Because that's the one that I think about when I think about like the equivalent to the 11 wiki.
That's what I use for the most part. If I need to.
That is where that problem is, that where you look up an NPC and it just has technical details about where they are, what quests they're involved with. Like, there's no lore. I can't look up like.
There's like the Dragon Song War page. There's some lore stuff.
Yeah, but I also think, wouldn't it be cool to have like stuff that like made an impact on the community as well, like community lore, like the date with Emmerich or the communal salt, like stuff like that as well. Is like there's a lot that gets lost in like a community like this.
It's true. It's probably too late for a lot of that stuff as well, which is sad.
Yeah, because you'd have to have been there, and someone would have had to note it down. So I don't know. There's improvements that need to be made.
There are, but I guess the console games wiki is very well updated. So
Yes.
if you were able, you could contact whoever owns it. I don't really know how you go about that, but you could contact them and see about figuring out how we can add more lore.
Console wiki is like, if I were to, say that we do have one main wiki, it's that one. I just wish it had a better lore system, I think, because a lot of it is very technical, but which is also useful. We don't want to lose that too. But anyway, if you don't know, that's where you should go. Console wiki. I think that might help you with some stuff, but yeah, it's more. You can even see it on how they like on the navigation on the left. It has like classes, jobs, crafting, gathering, quests. But yeah.
Yeah. It has like beat
Keep
by
that
beat
alive.
lore on people. Like I'm on Urianger, and it gives you like a summary of his time in the story with loads of links to various bits and bobs.
Yeah.
But it's not like deep. It's not like you can look up honey muffin and find out lore about the honey muffins for whatever.
Right. Right.
There's no Pulaski's chicken soup.
No, where's Pulaski's chicken soup? But it is very comprehensive. So
it's as close as you'll get.
Yeah.
And if you were able to drum up support and liaise with Console Games Wiki to add lore to their wiki, then a community project could form around that.
And this is a wiki, so everyone can contribute. So you keep it alive.
So
folks.
yeah, maybe you can be the change. So
Yes.
I would give it a go.
Yeah. Okay, well, there you go. Hopefully that answered that question a little.
That's a good point.
Yeah, it is a good point.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that a game that has so much lore has such a poor way of looking it up online. It's very difficult.
Doesn't really show the lore very well in game either. And once it's over with,
That's true. It's
We
hard.
have the unending codex. Have you tried reading it?
well, that's the best. Yeah, that's the best thing they've added. But it's only updated from now.
Yes. Okay. Well, there you go. Thank you, liar. I think.
Do the next one.
Yeah, sure. This is from Lord Meow from Crystal. Given all Alexandrians have names based on minerals or gems, I was shocked to hear Calyx had such a unique name, being based on a part of a flower. Until recently, I decided to check if there was a Calyx stone, which does exist. Unfortunately, but accurately, it is the least wanted stone to ever exist. A kidney stone.
I mean, that's amusing.
Yeah.
But I mean, we do know that not all Alexandrians are named after stones. A lot of them are. Some of them are named after concepts.
Yes, that's true.
The word calyx comes from ancient Greek, meaning husk
Yeah.
or pod. So I mean, it suits him. He is empty,
Yeah, that's true.
but he is also like a kidney stone.
Yeah.
Painful,
Yeah.
unwanted,
Mm-hmm.
makes you bleed.
Yeah.
Uh,
And you want to just piss him out.
He made Wukla yeah, he made Wukla bleed, and then we just wanted to piss him out.
Yes.
So
So there you go. Well, that's just a little fun fact there.
that's a nice fact.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Okay. Well then, let's move on. It's time for a great discussion. We're going to talk about 14's content schedule. Yes, and that is
no.
the premise for this discussion. The content schedule. Now, this has been a big topic in the community for, well, I would say for a long time, actually. Like, at least since, I mean, the issue started even with Shadowbringers.
I would say since Endwalker.
Yeah.
the COVID
really?
situation
Well, that's sort of when it's
was
like
the beginning.
the issue, like, quote unquote, started was because of COVID, but
It never returned.
no, it never returned. Which
To-
I feel like there was a feeling of like, oh, it's going to recover at some point. Like, we're gonna go back. I think the community thought that maybe, and that made it worse when it didn't. But yeah, we went from a 3-month cycle to a 3.5-month cycle, and then
Was it ever really a 3-month cycle?
No, it alternated.
yeah, that's what we're going to discuss. The data, you see, is showing some interesting stuff. So generally what people are saying nowadays, and a lot of the complaint is that it takes too long between content. The content cycle is too long. We have too much drought between the patches. And well, it doesn't really seem like that is the case now that the data is, the data is available. I mean, there's all of this is recorded. We can see when stuff came out. Well, we don't actually have the numbers on this one, but was it Mela? Mela, you've crunched the numbers. So
I've made it in a horrible spreadsheet, yeah.
So explain to us what's the content schedule looking like right now?
So every expansion, the first three patch cycles of the game, around Reborn to Stormblood, were quite dense.
Yeah.
So A Realm Reborn had sort of 4 3-month times between patches. The time from 2.0 to 3.0 was 22 months. That was the first expansion.
Uh-huh.
Heavensward was 24 months. Stormblood, 25 months. So it's like slowly creeping. They generally kept the same cadence in terms of 3, 4, or 5 month patches. COVID happened.
Yeah.
And Stormblood, Shadowbringers was 29 months. Endwalker 31 months. But the major parts here were the time between the expansions. So it was 8 months from 5.5 to 6.0 and 9 from 6.5 to 7.0. But it's not as sudden as people seem to claim, and it's generally, like, for example, Dawn Trail is about on the same part, maybe even a little quicker actually, or about on the same as Endwalker was. And Endwalker and Shadowbringers were around the same each as well. So I think the issue's not the timings.
No.
I think the issue's separate from that, and I think the issue's partially in your head. Burnout, lack of desire in the content, just doesn't,
I think
suit
it's
you
that.
anymore.
I think it's also their pacing is a little. Their pacing is off a little. They put weird things, because one of the things that they started doing around, was it Shadowbringers, when they started doing that, like, we're stretching out the patch a lot more than they used to? Because back in the day, we used to get, like, let's say, I think Heavensward had like 3.1, and then we had 3.15, and then that was it, essentially. And then they started stretching it out more, and now we've like reached a point where we have like 3.1. Now we have like 7.
In fairness, 3.2 was 3.21, 22, 25, and 26, and even more horrendously, 3.5 was 3.551, 55A, 55B, 56, 57.
Yeah, they were testing shit out with Heavensward. But I will say, that's not necessarily the issue. The issue is what they put in those patches.
Exactly.
And
when they release it, like, why would you put in one whole patch cycle loads of things that you do in one day, and then in the next patch cycle multiple things that are long-term content, when they could have been spread evenly over the expansion?
Yes. Like they will like the fact that they don't release like like you said, like if they what if they put like Eureka, because Eureka was released at a good time. Like the first one I believe was in 4
3.1.
3.1. Yeah, perfect.
Oh, sorry, no, Eureka. Sorry, you said
Yeah.
that. Sorry, I thought you said Diadem. No, Eureka was 4.2, I believe.
Yeah, 4.2.
Yeah.
That's still
was
good.
it 4.2 or 4.25?
I think it was 4.25, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh my god. Sorry, this is completely pointless, but Twitch has introduced Stream Rewind. You can actually
it's turning into YouTube.
and that's the best feature about YouTube. Is
Exactly,
that you can go back and watch.
YouTube's fallen off.
Wow.
I've not tried it on any stream yet, so yeah, let us know if it's
Good job, Twitch. Sorry, I was just. Yeah. Anyway, back to this. We I think they're sometimes they have content that's obviously meant to last a long time. Ooh, sorry, I'm opening Twitch, and that's released at like a 0.3 patch, which is like, what are we doing here? Like, what's the point of that?
I think you want to get something quite long term out in the 0.1 or 2.
Yeah.
Just because everyone's going to have done the main expansion. That's going to last a month, say.
Yeah.
That's chunky.
Mm-hmm.
But then every patch after that is done in a day. The story's done in a day, and like the dungeon's done in a day.
Mm-hmm.
So you need that stuff that keeps you coming back. You need your deep dungeons, your field operations, your planet thing, your island thing.
Yes.
So why would you group 2 or more of those into one patch when you can spread them out?
Yes. Yeah, because
why is Beastmaster at the absolute end of the expansion? Why was Blue Mage at the absolute depths of the expansion, keeping people going a little bit, and then they forget about it, and then they barely update them?
I can somewhat defend the introduction of Blue Mage because they wanted probably something to carry you over.
Well, that's true,
a drought was coming, before the next expansion. So I'm assuming that's a tactical move on their end.
The thing with Blue Mage was it was well delivered because there was the sudden hype, and then it was like, and it's releasing soon.
Yeah.
Beastmaster was the complete opposite.
Yes. Announced before the expansion for the end of it. So
unbelievable.
Yes.
And we still have no clue about it. So they haven't built any hype. They've not even kept the hype going.
I mean,
no.
I can't remember if it was last week we mentioned this. I don't know why they didn't hold off on revealing Beastmaster until the next expansion's what's it called?
FanFest?
FanFest,
yes.
Yeah.
Because that's when they revealed Blue Mage.
Because there would have been no limited job for this one. And then everyone would say, well, why is there not even a limited job?
Yeah, because then we'd be worried that there wouldn't be a limited job. But, I mean, yeah, it's weird. They couldn't have won either way, I think, in this one, actually.
Probably not.
The one thing that we've complained about before is that they seem to put the Allied Society quest in the wrong. It's in the wrong patch. Like it should be placed earlier than what they did.
It's weird because it's not consistent. Because I feel like the Mamul Jar was base 7.2, and then so I think the order was Pelu Pelu was 7.15, then Mamul Jar was 7.2, and now the what's the next one? The Yokhoi is 7.35. Why do they keep alternating?
Yeah,
it's weird.
It is
wow.
weird.
Can you just release them on one set point in each patch?
But yeah, the data shows that we're not getting less stuff, and it is coming out at a pretty regular stream. Like we're getting the next patch in 2 weeks. Is that when Deep Dungeon comes out?
Should be in
a week and a half.
Said like
Week and a half,
October 7th or potentially 14th.
I mean, by the time this is out on YouTube, a week.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited for the Deep Dungeon.
I am too.
I do prefer this over the Heavensward release, the early Heavensward release, because back then, once a patch, and A Realm Reborn for that matter, once a patch was out, that was it for the month. You know what I mean? Like the next 3 months.
For the quarter.
Yeah, for the quarter. That was the content. Enjoy. Some would argue that that's better because then you have everything and you can just pace it out yourself. But people can't pace shit out themselves. So
this game has proven since I started this game that everything must be done on day one,
Yeah.
or it will be like ruined for you as a first-time player.
Yeah, because it's either going to be that, or it's going to be people who are like, oh, I didn't know there was just so much I couldn't keep track. I'm not a hardcore, like player, and then you have that complaint as well. So I think this type of like trickling content is good, and I don't really mind the release pacing that much, but it's the content in which I just think
the
they're
order
not
in which that they're released.
Yes, I think they need to think about.
I would
that
have
a bit more.
done a few things earlier.
Don't release like two long-term pieces of content in the same patch. Maybe split those up and put them in different patches, so we have something to tide us over all the way, all the time. That's how you should do
Occult
it.
Crescent and the Moon.
Yeah,
What were you thinking?
That was crazy. That was a weird thing to do.
And now
they were
next
separated.
Relic Step and
They were
the Moon.
separated,
They were
Yeah.
separated
By
a month, but they should have been in separate patches.
They should have been full separate patches.
Yes.
Yes, Relics, I agree with chat. Relics should be out ASAP. They should be out in the first patch of the cycle.
I agree. I would even put Relics in like the base 5.05 or whatever. Like, Relics should be out as soon as possible.
Yes.
And they should be a fun long grind.
I think I'm fine with delaying them to 0.1 because 0.1 is always the most bare bones patch in every
That's true.
expansion cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't know. The complaints are sometimes a little, other than the content. Some people genuinely just are over some of the content, and that I can agree with, because
That's fine.
one overhanging problem that 14 has is that a lot of the content we get every patch is sort of the same. It's just more content added to existing content, and if you are already tired of that content, no matter what they add to that, you're just the content itself is what you're over. So that won't help you, if they add another floor to, Palace of the Dead or whatever. Like,
Exactly.
If you don't like Palace of the Dead, you don't want to do that. So
If you didn't like Eureka, you're not going to have stuck around till Hydaelyn.
Right.
It's all more of the same.
yes,
Mhm.
yes,
So I think they do need to think about but they're doing interesting experiments, like with
the new
Deep Dungeon with the what's it called? The satanic mode? I don't know what it's called.
Oh yeah,
Satanic Quantum.
Quantum mode, which is wicked because like there's so much interesting things they can do there.
Mm-hmm. I just worry that.
But then they're not going to do anything with it for at least 3+ months. There's not going to be any new quantum mechanics
This has been
until a long time.
This has been my issue, and I've said this many times. And I feel like when they do like an experiment, because of how they produce content, they'll be ahead. They'll already be like they're done.
They're doing the next one.
Yeah, they're on like 7.5 now, right? So there's no time.
they've sorted out all of the story for the next expansion. And they're building that as well.
Started early work on the expansion now. So the
you might be looking at 8.1 when the major job rework because nothing worked.
God.
But
yeah,
it's mad because like every time they introduce a really good system, where's the next chaotic raid?
Yeah.
Where's the next? What's the thing Georgi likes? VNCs.
Oh yeah.
Why aren't they? Should be. Maybe I'm dreaming, but every patch, realistically, or at very least every 2 patches, should include one of everything within their repertoire. And it upsets me that it doesn't. One deep dungeon for expansion's fine, but like, a chaotic or a variant dungeon, or like these things have been left by the wayside for years.
I think chaotic. I don't think you can say years for chaotic. I think they've developed one, and that was 2 patches ago. I think they didn't want to start development on another one until they saw how people reacted to it. Because if you're developing something for a piece of content that no one liked, that's how you get Pagos.
What I mean,
it's true.
That's my issue, is that they will have to wait until like they've seen how players react. But then they are 4 patches ahead, so we won't see it again until 4 patches from now, which is the same was going to happen with Quantum that Mela said. They'll release this now, and they'll be like, Well, we'll have to wait and see what player feedback is
Well,
like.
you say that about Quantum. The way they've talked about variant dungeons, it looks like they've implemented. It sounds like from what they've said. Now, I'm just assuming based on the way Yoshi-P has talked about variant dungeons in relation to Quantum. It sounds like they've implemented Quantum into the next variant dungeon as well. So we will at least have 2 patches in a row of seeing something of that type.
Right.
I hope so. But I hope if it's successful, then retroactively add the quantum mechanic to the other variant dungeons. This kind of, and it's the same with Unreal. You mentioned Unreal Trials. Why are they drip fed as 1 per patch and then never to
Why
be
do
seen
they go
again?
away?
Yeah.
They do these insane things. And surely, Yoshi-P, when was Unreal started? At least like 2 expansions ago now. This is your feedback. Have a roulette.
Just give us an Unreal roulette. I mean, we love roulettes. The community loves roulettes. We do roulettes like crazy here. So I don't know.
Why is there no roulette for harder content?
Yeah. It's weird.
Apparently that's how the Japanese play the game, is they like queue into raid search and...
Yeah. I mean,
so why haven't they added a roulette for it?
A roulette, you enter voluntarily. You know what you're getting into there. Like,
you sign up for it.
If you sign up for an Unreal roulette, you know you're about to do some hard shit.
Yeah.
People that...
It's not going to be like tucked into trial roulette.
No.
So you either get an Unreal or not. It would be a specific one for Unreal.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Well,
but the point is that the perception around the patch cycle like suddenly changing has actually been something that's been gradually happening over at least since the start of the game, really. But
I would say this has been an issue since Heavensward. I think the patch cycle has largely remained unchanged since then.
Yeah.
COVID messed things up a bit. There's a massive 5.2 to 5.3 was 7 months. That was COVID's fault.
Yeah.
But
I would say that there's more different types of content per patch than there used to be. Before, there used to be more of the same, which you could say that that's not a great thing either. Like, I know that some people would say they'd still prefer 2 dungeons per patch, and that is fair. Yeah. But how much more time is that giving you per patch, really? Like, how much more time are you going to spend in game just because there's a second dungeon?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's the weirdness of, because every 2 patches, you'll do loads of roulettes because you need tomes. Mm-hmm. But then the opposite 2 patches, you just do the 24-man because that's all you need for gearing up.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the benefit of the way the expert roulette currently works. It includes the current dungeon and the previous one. So the one on the catch-up patch, so you'll have a chance to do it more often.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's
a strange one.
Yeah, because this also shows that even though the data shows one thing, but the experience is another. I mean, that is very obvious. And I think a lot of people are just, again, I feel like we have this wave every so often of people experiencing the fatigue for the first time, and it feels like the end of the world for the game. It's like, oh my god, you see the cracks that have always been there, by the way. Oh, the cracks have always been there. You just didn't see them because you were wow.
In many ways, the cracks were much more obvious in certain aspects of the quality of life of this game.
Yeah.
I've said this for a while, particularly since the start of this expansion, that the people are less willing to ignore the cracks now because I would say the general community is not as enamored with the story as it has been since the end of Endwalker. Mm-hmm. And that's why these complaints have become louder and more noticeable.
Yeah.
It's a very understandable viewpoint. Mm-hmm. But it's just interesting that you were willing to put up with what you believe now to be like not, an okay mid experience because you like the story so much. The story elevates it for you.
Yeah. It's not,
but it's always been there.
It's always been that way, and everyone here on this podcast has experienced it at some point, and it passes. You just have to accept. You have to think about the fact that this is a live service game.
Yeah,
this has been going for like 12 years. This game.
If 8.0 turns around and offers us so many like twists and turns, and it's the story like suddenly elevates you to I know we're not gonna, let's pretend, to Shadowbringers levels.
Okay. Yeah.
And you're like, oh my god. You'll be like, thank God that Dawn Trail existed so we could get this. Like, thank God we had that introduction so we could end up here.
Yeah.
Because there are many parts of other expansions that aren't the best storylines, especially some of the mid-patch parts.
Yeah.
But it's good that they were there so we could get to where we are.
Yeah. That's interesting, Mela, because I would argue that even though people are glazing the fuck out of Stormblood, we were in a bit of a valley with Stormblood, and then came Shadowbringers, and we shot up in like quality. It happens.
I mean, it's interesting because even like the patch that I would say most people complain about and feeling like in terms of it being the biggest lull of Stormblood, if you look through what released in patch 4.3, it probably has the most actual like different pieces of content released in a patch throughout Stormblood. It had MSQ Hildy, Ridorana, Castrum Fluminous, The Great Hunt, which we're getting a new one this patch.
Yeah.
It was the first ultimate, I think, as well. The weapons refrain.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah.
No. The first one is it's the second ultimate. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes. The second ultimate had Namazu, had Heaven on High, and I think here's the issue. Well, no, that's not. Even that is not the issue. The next one that I'm going to mention, it had Pagos.
Yeah. Stormblood was plagued with a lot of content, but a lot of misses. Like there was a lot of stuff there that didn't work.
This patch at the start of the Domain Reconstruction, which I actually haven't
Domain Reconstruction cool.
I have positive memories for, but I wouldn't say that the content was exactly high involvement with you having to donate a certain amount of gil worth of trash.
Domain Enclave was an allied society wrapped in a different way of interacting with it, maybe.
Yes, but Stormblood was also the second attempt at Diadem, which also didn't work. So
that's true.
There was a lot of stuff that happened.
But sometimes, I mean, some people might prefer that barrage of content, even if it doesn't hit for them, than this kind of trickle of quality content.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy how people talk about nostalgia for Eureka? Like, people are talking about how Occult Crescent is like, I mean, and I'm not disagreeing that Occult Crescent is relatively dead in its current form, but like, don't tell me that like Pagos was alive with the joy of
music. Don't turn now, bitches, because I remember this community. I was trying my best to like, guys, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. It was bad. Like,
it was bad.
Don't fucking lie to my face like that. I know what the community reaction to Pagos was. Don't even start.
Exactly. And even if OC is relatively dead now, the content was better.
Yes. Yeah.
It was a better system to interact with. And same with the Bosnian Southern Front. It was better content to interact with. Eureka existed, so content that came after was better.
Yeah.
And it's one of the few examples in the game where they've really actually properly expanded on something and made it better each time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would suggest to people who are a little jaded with the game right now, said it before.
Yeah.
You can play other games, single-player games, catch up on your backlog.
Yeah.
But I would also always recommend just hopping into other MMOs to see what they do differently and similarly to us.
Or other games.
You don't have to play MMOs. You can play...
No, I said that first. I said single-player games.
I think this is your chance. This is your chance to just play other games.
There's so many games releasing right now.
Yeah.
When do you think the last time we got new large-scale PvP?
What's large-scale PvP?
Like Frontline?
Frontlines or Rival Wings.
Well, they did that rework of...
I'm not counting reworks. I'm talking about new...
No, the rework of Shatter either.
No reworks.
No, I'm not counting that either. I'm talking about...
A long time.
The Onsel Haken Adam
When do you think that was?
End of Stormblood?
Yeah, it would have to be.
That's generous. It's almost patch 5.1, so start of...
the beginning of...
Start of Shadowbringers.
Damn.
But still, I mean, the fact that we haven't gotten anything new, and I know that Shatter and Secure have been reworked.
Yeah.
But that's
That was,
I want something new. They haven't added a Rival Wings map since Stormblood.
5.1.
Astragolos, where is it? Like, are we ever getting it? Like, is Rival... Like, I'm sometimes...
That was like 70 months ago.
There's one thing I want more than anything, and that's for them to be transparent when they don't want to work on content anymore. Like, if they want
I agree with that.
Like, ends... Like, sorry, guys, this content didn't work. We're just retiring it. Just say it. Instead of having, like, this weird, like, we'll add, like, a lazy update to, like, Rival Wings just to give them something. It's like, okay, if you don't like to make... If this isn't the content you guys want to work on, maybe we should just wrap it up and tell us, and then we'll move on. You know? Like, Rival Wings is in a weird-ass spot. Like, I don't understand that.
Just bringing up Squadrons. I actually do think they've said that they don't want to work on Squadrons anymore.
Yeah.
They have.
They officially retired Squadrons to be replaced by avatars.
Yeah, if you didn't watch that episode, because we did cover that, Squadrons has officially been like abandoned by the devs. So,
but I do miss them because it was fun building your squadron, and the way you could get some of the recruits, like going to the Gold Saucer, and then you got some of the funny ones. I really liked that system, but it just didn't quite work.
It's still a good way to get like scripts.
Absolutely. Yeah, sending them on the missions is good.
Yeah.
Or level 4 materia if you want some of that.
Yes.
Hey, it can be still given to Bang Pot's Mutiny Mix or whatever that is called.
Yeah, I mean, now that we have trusts, it doesn't... I mean, I wish we had... Well, we'll never get it. We know that this is an abandoned system. They'll never touch it again. But, like, it has... It is its own system that I wish they worked a little more on to give it, like...
I would have liked to be able to create a party of trust and go out into the world and be in a party in the world.
Oh, like in 11?
And do what?
The overworld content that doesn't exist.
Yeah, Fates. Bicolor gem
You can
farming.
solo Fates, though. That's the thing.
Some of them, like the boss ones, especially if they've been juiced, are quite tough to solo. It'd be nice to just...
Yeah, but if they're unjuiced, they'll reset, though.
It'd be nice to have a healer, I guess.
You could... It would go quicker.
You don't need a healer to do boss Fates.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're the reason why they're not letting me have my...
All right, how much did they pay you this time, Georgi? Like,
Georgi.
How big was the check this time? Yoshi-P,
as you set up your new computer.
Yeah.
I don't understand how...
You enjoying that new computer, Georgi?
I don't understand how this is like me defending the game. I'm not saying this is a good thing. I'm just saying it's unnecessary.
Just kidding. Yep, I think we've covered everything, right? That's
more or less, yeah. I mean, yeah. Let us know your thoughts on this. Get sending MogMails regarding this because it's interesting to hear other viewpoints. But yeah, absolutely. Just enjoy the time between patches for and an MMO takes up most of your life.
Yes.
You've definitely not caught up on your backlog.
It takes up it shouldn't take up most of your life. That feels
it will
unhealthy.
Take I would time. I would say yes, that's probably closer. I would say if you play an MMO, it will be the majority of your gaming life.
Yeah. That's for sure.
And if you log on to 14 because you're used to doing that, but there's not much you want to do in the game, you're just wasting time.
Yeah.
Hop yourself on to Hades 2.
Yeah.
And grind out those achievements.
Or how much did you get, Mail?
Or, like I said, jump on another MMO just to see Guild Wars, ESO, the free ones. Go on the free ones, and then you don't have to pay a penny.
Yeah. Don't go on that you have to pay for if you don't love MMOs.
No. It's fascinating. Yeah, whatever. Be any of them. Just to see, because you'll see things in other MMOs. Wushu. You'll see things in other MMOs that make you think, thank God 14 has that. And it'll make you appreciate the game more. It frustrates me when people don't try other MMOs. I don't know why, but it's important to understand where you come from.
We have it good in 14, and a lot of people just don't understand how good we have it. I mean, we also have things. We have issues that other MMOs don't have, but all in all, 14 is a pretty good package. But you wouldn't know that if you've never been to any other MMO. So
exactly.
Yeah, I agree. You should broaden your horizons a little if you're going to complain as much as you are. Just to the community in general. Okay.
We're about to get new content not the next week, probably. Well, not next week, but like within the week and a half.
Yes.
And it's good content.
It is.
Yes.
Well, potentially.
It's a deep dungeon, which is a roguelike, a bit like Hades 2.
I am.
Yeah, if you love Hades 2, you'll love Pilgrim's Traverse.
Exactly.
I am carefully optimistic about this because I'm like burned out on that whole content, the Palace of the Deep Dungeon system.
Burned out? You've not even been
Burned
in
out.
since
You don't
Heaven
even
on
do
High.
it.
This guy has got
What?
so burned out in Heaven's on High that he's like, you've not even done
finished.
Eureka Orthos.
Yeah, I got burned out during that shit because it was the same fucking shit.
Oh, Eureka Orthos was fun.
You are such a defender of Deep Dungeon.
I know.
You two are paid
Yeah,
by
because
Big
it's
Deep Dungeon.
fun.
It's fun.
You're paid by Big Deep
You
Dungeon.
don't-
We're paid by Big Deep Dungeon.
Yeah.
I wish I was paid by Big Deep Dungeon.
It's just sometimes it's nice to hang out with the boys and do Deep
Okay,
Dungeon.
go hang out with the boys. I'm not joining.
Oh my god, but you're a boy.
No, I'm not a boy. I'm a
You're a boy,
man.
you've got
I'm a
to.
grown-ass man, and I don't do no Deep Dungeon. Okay.
Even if you don't like Deep Dungeon, next patch also has a new Allied Society.
Yes, that's true.
And
Oh yeah, you're a boy.
Faina still exists.
Oh yeah, I've still
Yes.
not really unlocked
No.
and gone to Faina.
Let me just say, I am looking forward to the Deep Dungeon this time because they're actually making significant changes to it, I think. So I think I'll actually
hope
enjoy
so.
it more.
They've already made decent changes to Palace of the Dead as well, I'll say,
That's
in terms
true,
of
yeah.
making it more approachable.
That too.
I'm tempted to go back and grind some ether pool weapons.
Yes.
They're pretty.
Okay. Well, I think that concludes the discussion for now.
Absolutely.
We're going to have a discussion next week as well, which is going to be less fun, but hopefully you'll tune in for that as
Well,
well.
we plan to.
We're planning
If
to.
something
Yeah,
massive
yeah.
else happens, we'll have to discuss that.
I'm teasing it now, just in case. All right. That's the end of the show, everybody. We'll be back next week, same time, same place. Remember to follow on our socials, SpeakersXIV, twitch.tv/SpeakersXIV, youtube.com/SpeakersXIV, ! Discord and chat if you want to join our Discord server. And if you're watching on demand, link is in the description. If you're watching live, we're going into the poster right now where we'll be answering questions from the Syndicate. And that's about it, I think, because we don't have much time. See you there. Take care. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Are we really not going to switch? All right. Let me do that manually then.
Feels like Discord started briefly shitting itself as well.
Okay, so that's not just
Yeah.
me that it's Discord as well.
Yeah. I was a bit sus.
Pressing the button. Nothing's happening. Let me try this. Oh.